Good evening, VV Nation. Happy Tuesday. My name is Ryan. Always a pleasure to get the 6 p.m. videos, and tonight I've got a special treat for you. The stock up over 20% as I'm talking about it, but I don't think this stock is done quite yet. If you play it right, you might just be on the right side of the trade, as this position here has a lot of exposure to hot industries. I'm talking about aerospace. I'm talking about the crypto. I'm talking about Web 3.0, AI, quantum. The stock we're talking about tonight, Datavault, DVLT. The more I do research on this stock, the more I like it. So if you're interested in a company trading under $5 currently with exposure in some of the hottest industries on the planet, let's get started. As I just mentioned, a lot going on with this company, DVLT. Have it on your radar. Look at this, outline a multi-pronged growth plan combining digital exchanges, AI, blockchain, and near quantum computing. The company formed for Delaware exchange entities and expected 2 exchanges to launch before the end of 2025. Now, Datavault secured a $150 million strategic investment in Bitcoin to fund its quantum Web 3.0. Yes, this company is using Bitcoin as a treasury asset. I've been talking about that for a long time. This company is very forward thinking. I love what they do. Now, they did get a penalty. $1 million contractual penalty, a little delayed acquisition, and emphasize a treasury approach that preserves principal and avoids dilution. That's good. They don't want to dilute their shares. Now, as I scroll down, I do like this. For a positive, hey, they got $150 million strategic Bitcoin reserve. $17 million already made from that investment here. They are launching these multiple exchanges, but a lot of the projects that they have are still in the works, right? In partnerships with IBM and Cove on items such as quantum computing. Yes, the stock is a gamble, and we're going to get into the VectorVest 7 software. It is a speculative play, but it does have their tentacles in some very important arenas here. As I went through the news articles here, I liked what I see. A lot of positive news when it comes to this company, but as of right now, it's got a lot of its eggs in one basket, and that's going to be IBM. So I would like to see more partnerships with this company, with some of the other bigger names here. I've been talking about Robinhood, right? Tokenization process. Now, Robinhood, in this instance, wants to tokenize digital assets, right? Turning things like Apple, even IBM, right? NVIDIA into tokenized assets so investors around the world could take advantage of U.S. assets. This company, Datavault, not much different than that, but just a different approach and different industry, right? They want to do the asset tokenization, right, of real world assets. And again, this represents real assets here. So not coins. What they're trying to do is data, mineral rights, carbon credits, right? They're using their AI platform for data monetization and value across various industries, biotech, energy, finance. Again, the tokenization, it is revolutionizing the world as we speak. So I want you to have some exposure to those type of companies, right? Now, the quantum partnership here with IBM, as I was going through a bit more detail with Google AI, it's all about the quantum Web 3.0. I've talked about with Meta. It's been a while, but I talked about this with Meta, right? Mark Zuckerberg putting a lot of money in this Web 3.0. And Datavault getting to the party early when it comes to this Web 3.0 infrastructure means that there could be potential for a lot of growth going forward. But right now, this $150 million project here is all about AI supercomputing capabilities. And with that AI supercomputer, this is what they plan on doing. International Elements Exchange. This platform is for tokenizing real world assets like minerals, carbon credits, right? For institutional traders, mining companies, sustainability organizations. On top of that, look, monetization of named likenesses, athletes, things of that nature. Information data exchange. And what I thought that was interesting, look at this, American political exchange using blockchain. This exchange provides transparent and compliant political contributions. Very interesting concept that this company has, but this all has to do with Web 3.0. And the last point before we get to the VectorVest 7 software, look at this. The company is leveraging its portfolio of over 70 patents related to tokenomics and Web 3.0. Even if you don't understand what that means, this is the early stage of the next revolution when it comes to the internet. All right, enough of the hopes and dreams. Let's get into the VectorVest 7 software and see what the stock is doing. Up right now, just over 20%, a lot of momentum. I mean, the stock is trading at 253. What I do like our valuation, even though that the stock is overvalued right now, it is still not that overly stretched for a lower dollar stock. As well, I like the direction that the value is moving right now. If we look at the fundamentals, they're not there. RVRS, not there. RT relative timing. This is where the momentum is at. This is a momentum trade right now. Doesn't mean don't put it on a watch list and wait for the dust to settle. Then you can get in this stock potentially at a better price. The stock does currently have a buy rating with the momentum to the upside, but look at the forecasted data. Sales growth rate, a lot of fuel in the tank, 403%. Earnings growth rate, 22%. Phenomenal numbers here. So let's jump in the chart and see if there's any potential when it comes to price action. All right, VV Nation, we're in the chart, DVLT. It's been on my radar. I wish I would have done a video earlier, but here's the descending trend line here. If I use this, let me make it a little bit bigger for you. I had some resistance coming in at the prior swing lows around 60 cents. You see price action breaking above this trend line, breaking above that resistance. The stock had some value opportunities. The premium, it's baked in right now. I'm not chasing this bad boy at this moment, but I will say the stock does have me intrigued. And I wouldn't mind, maybe starting a little opening position potentially as a level support. The first one being around $2.20. The other level I wouldn't mind the price action coming back down to is around 175 to look for a pivot to the upside. But right now, the value of the stock is currently 82 cents. Now, if I zoom into a 3-month time span, we see the value declining, price action declining. Price action, as it broke that downward trend line, has picked up momentum to the upside, but look at the valuation also ticked up recently. If I use a date line here, today we valued at 82 cents. Yesterday was just 73 cents. So if we get another tick up in valuation come tomorrow, I will like that follow through. But just going back to a 1-year chart here, look at the turnaround story in our forecasted earnings per share. The stock was nearly negative $8, coming in at negative $7.82. But if we look right now, earnings per share, less than $1 on the negative side, just down 87 cents. Potential turnaround story for this stock. But not only that, look at the RT relative timing. The favor has been with the bulls, and RT giving a little bit of an early warning sign here on strong volume. RT coming in at 1.39 to close that day, just 73 cents. Since then, hitting a high over $3. We do have some buy recommendations on the position right now, but it is a down day, and with that upper wick, I'm going to be a little bit more bearish in the short term. But again, pay attention to those levels I had just mentioned. And just as a refresher here, let me put the lines on. First level I want to mention is going to be around $1.70, while the second level is going to come in around $2 to $2.15. Treat it more of a zone, but those are the levels I'm looking for a pivot. This stock is on my radar, and the more research I do, the more I like about this company. I like the turnaround story and earnings per share. I like that RT is telling me that the trend is in the favor of the bulls. Now, if you enjoyed tonight's presentation, make sure you hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys tomorrow evening. Good night.